Okay, another really exciting day in the Corvette world for us. I'm Morgan, I work at Finch Chevrolet, and I'm going to go over quite a few exciting updates that we have in the Corvette world. First things first, at 9:30 last night approximately, I got word that our Corvettes have been shipped, so that would be VIN number 141 and 151. They're on a truck right now to see us here today. Hopefully they get here in a reasonable time. I'd love for this video to be interrupted and for me to have to pan over to see them coming, but I will be creating another video when they do arrive later on today. So I want to cover a couple of things today. I want to go over the ordering process, how you can be able to track your vehicle once I pass along your VIN number, or maybe your dealership passes your VIN number to you. I also did get 3 more Corvettes to be able to order, so I want to go through the final process of what we would do when we submit an order. And then I'll have some more tools and information for you to be able to educate yourself while you're waiting for your Corvette, or if your Corvette has already arrived. So right now we just got 3 more Corvettes. That puts us at now 18 that we've been able to submit, and 2 of them have been shipped. We have about 4 right now that are being built currently this week, so I will have VIN numbers for them to pass along to my customers in the next few days, maybe even the next few hours, which is very exciting. Once you have your VIN number, I have a very valuable tool that I found through my friends on the forums, where you can use your VIN number to track where your vet is. The supplier that ships all these vehicles is called Jack Cooper. They're a transport company, and they have a website that I found, and I'll submit the link for you to be able to use, where if you put your VIN number into it, you can find out where your vet is. So I'm just going to show you what I did. It may be difficult to see it on the screen over here, but once you put your VIN number into the system here, it shows you where your vehicle is, where it was shipped, and when it was shipped as well. You will then be able to even see an invoice once it arrives, and who signed off on it, the name of the trucker driver that drove your vehicle to your dealership's home. So that to me is a very cool piece of information to be able to reassure some rumors that you may have heard from your dealer that your vet is produced and maybe being shipped. Dealerships can be very busy, and especially at month end, they may not be able to get every exact update to you the second they happen. So if you have some of these tools on hand, it's going to be able to help you at keeping your waiting at bay. If you're really nervous and wanting to see your vet come, these are some cool tools to help you out with that. So some other things that have been released recently. The Getting to Know guide for your Corvette has been released. This is a really cool tool to get you situated with the vehicle, be able to reference where a lot of things are inside the vehicle. It's a lot smaller than the actual owner's manual, and then there's also one for the performance features on the vehicle as well. So if you are getting ready to take your vehicle to the track, if you have a Z51 performance package and you want to understand a little bit more about the features that are on your vehicle, these are some very good quick reference guides that you can easily digest and get a good idea of it, but more importantly, keep it on hand instead of the massive owner's manual, so that if you were going to go to the track, you can pull that one out instead of flipping through the owner's manual. So on that topic, this is the owner's manual. I have gone through the whole 336-page document, and as you can see, I actually went through an entire highlighter when I was going through here, and I highlighted all the areas that I feel are very important to go through. There are some areas of the owner's manual that are a little dry, and so I thought it would be a good idea for me to highlight and note a lot of areas that I would want my customers to make sure that they understood if they were going to go through this owner's manual. So I'm going to scan that document, and if you have any interest in getting that, please let me know. If you're not a client of mine and I don't have your email already, just send me an email or direct message me on one of the forums, and I'll be sure to get this information across from you so that you can have a little bit of an easier cheat guide to what the owner's manual is like. I mentioned that I had 3 Corvettes that just got submitted today, and I wanted to go through how that process would work once I received these from General Motors. So this morning when we got our consensus, we learned that we have 3 more that are coming about. And so the next 3 people that were in line, I had already asked for their builds long in advance. So they would have met with me, and we would have submitted a draft, which would have looked a little bit like this. This is using a program called AutoBook. And AutoBook gives you a very detailed description of what your vet will have for features, the standard items on it, and even technical specifications. From that, I'm now going to submit something in an order workbench, which will then give me an order summary. So this is an order that I just submitted. I've highlighted all the areas that are unique to this vehicle, and I would have scanned it over to the customer at this point, asking for them to sign off on the vehicle. At that point, the vehicle is now submitted into the system. General Motors knows that it exists, and they're welcoming it into their order workbench. And there's a very, very small window for you to have an epiphany and change it. This is basically your last opportunity to be able to change something on the vehicle. And hopefully by this point, if we have gone through the vehicle, there really isn't anything to consider at that point. So that is the ordering process that we have for the vehicle. There's also a lot of cool new guides that I'll have in the description below, and then the link to be able to track your vehicle. So another cool piece of information is the vets that were shipped to Canada. There was only 250 in total that were released from the Bowling Green plant. The amount of vets that we've seen so far is 10. So of the 10 vehicles that have been shipped, we have 2 of them, and I'm also very happy to see the VIN numbers from all of them and know that I had the 4th vet produced in Canada, which is kind of cool. The process for shipping them from Bowling Green is very unique for shipping in General Motors, because they go directly from a truck to the dealership. This is, again, speaking for people in the Ontario region. In the East and West Coast, they will have to rail it from certain areas, but when we're talking about Ontario deliveries in Canada here, they're going to drive it directly to the dealership. They take I-65 up through Kentucky and Ohio, and then they go through Michigan, and they get onto the 401. Luckily for us in London here, we are before where they stop in a holdings yard and unload them or switch drivers. So in Ingersoll, right by the Cami plant, there is a big lot that they use to stage and put these vehicles on different trucks or allow the driver to have a break. It's a 10-hour drive from London to Kentucky, so it's just within the wheelhouse of being able to get there in a day-and-a-half period. But for people that are in Toronto or North or anywhere else, unfortunately they do have to have some time off. They can't just drive 18 hours straight. So it's very cool for people being a customer of mine in London, because we know from as soon as we get the invoice that it's going to be a very short time period between then and when it arrives here. So I'm very accurate in being able to give you a description of when the Eagle is going to land and give you a call, and hopefully you can get off of your work or get here down to see your baby come off the truck. I'm going to be shooting a video as soon as it arrives. We want to get all the accessories on our vehicles so that we can have them looking great, but we're going to be trying to do this as fast as possible. We still haven't even been shipped the invoices from General Motors, so there's a little that we can do until that happens, and we want to make sure that we give you an accurate heads up on when this unveiling event is going to be. So unfortunately, I don't have the exact time frame right now. We have a general idea of when it's going to be, but I want to be able to give you enough notice. And until I find out when my accessory pieces are going to be coming in, I don't feel comfortable giving it to you at this moment. So I hope this is enough information to keep you at bay for a couple more hours until my vet arrives, and then I'll be sending you some videos of it coming off the truck. Thanks a lot, guys, and happy motoring.